Hey everybody, Joe here, and today I wanted to address some questions that I've been getting about Foundation 6, right? I mean, so far I've made about 20 hours of videos, right, on Foundation 6, a lot of video, right? And in a lot of that video, most of it, to be honest, it's all about how to do things, how to do this, how to do that, especially with swatches, right? I mean, swatches are the big new thing, and I've done a lot of video on how to use them. But a lot of people are confused as to why. Why are swatches better? Why do we have them? Why is it faster? Why should I care about using a swatch? Because before I just added a stack to the page and all the settings I need would be right there, right? I'd have background settings and border settings and font settings all inside the stack. Like, why is swatches better? So let's go back in time, right? And before we would add a stack to the page, and again, like I said, we'd have all the settings that we would potentially need, right? We had border settings, margin settings, padding settings, font color settings, font styles, font weights. I mean, lots of settings, right? Some stacks would even go for miles, all the settings that it had, right? I mean, it was pretty crazy. Because over time, while maybe a stack started really simple, feature requests would come in and we'd add more settings, and then we'd add more settings on top of that. And over time, that settings panel just grew and grew and grew. Now imagine we're building a page and we have those stacks that have tons of settings on them, and we have like 100 of them on the page. And chances are we're not even using all the settings that are inside those stacks either. Now let's just think about it from the stacks plugin perspective. It has to go through every single plugin, every single stack, through every single setting, process all those settings, render it in edit mode. And then not only that, when we preview, we want preview to be fast, right? Well, guess what? Stacks has to go through every single stack we have on the page, process every single setting. And that takes time. And over time, as stacks became more complex and had a lot more options and a lot more settings, yes, they gave us a lot of power. It gives us a lot of flexibility. However, we paid the price in terms of performance. Edit mode became slower. Previewing our pages sometimes took minutes because we built these really flexible, complex layouts. But it took stacks a long time to have to go through every single stack that we have on the page, process every single setting, output the HTML, output the JavaScript, output the CSS, right? Output some PHP if it has that, right? So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Okay, so let's enter into Foundation 6, right? I wanted to, when I started developing Foundation 6, I wanted to rethink. I wanted to think outside the box. I wanted to rethink how we're doing things right now so that not only can we have things faster, but it also was more flexible for the future. And then I also had a more ulterior motive of I wanted you guys to become better web designers. So how could we get all of that done? It seems like an impossible task. But I think we've done that exactly that with swatches. Because a swatch allows us to infinitely extend a stack to whatever settings we want. And this is done through something called classes, right? And sometimes classes confuses some people. They're like, oh no, that's a coding term. Think of it as a tag, okay? I thought long and hard about naming them tags actually, but I wanted to call them what they are. And they are a class. And if we look at HTML code or web design code, they are classes. And as I said, I wanted to make you a better web designer. So instead of calling them tags, we're calling them a class. But to be honest, just think of them as the same thing. Well, let's say I add a column stack to my web page, and I want that column to have a background. Well, that column stack doesn't have any background settings, but we can easily add a swatch, create a class inside there, aka a tag, put it as column background is the class name, And wherever I put that class name, wherever I tag it in any single stack, guess what? That style is applied. And what's awesome is we can apply as many swatches as we want to as many stacks as we want. Now, I recommend you go watch the video on why and how to use swatches. It goes over some really basic understanding. I'm not going to do any demos here. I just wanted to explain the reasoning behind this. Because now I can infinitely extend a stack's functionality with as many swatches as I want. That way, Stacks is only processing the styles and the code that we want, not the 50 million other settings that we don't even touch. Okay? And not only that, swatches are reusable, right? So I have one swatch on the page that I can use on 10 different stacks. Well, instead of Stacks having to go through each of those 10 stacks and process a background setting or whatever, it now only has to process one background swatch. That is where we get all of the performance benefits of Foundation 6. You will notice that in edit mode, things are a lot faster. Preview is almost instantaneous, and you're going to love it. Okay? So I hope this gave you a little bit of clarity on why I did Foundation 6 the way I did. Again, think of classes as just a tag. It's just a way of creating a swatch and assigning that style to as many stacks as you want. Imagine that background setting is inside that stack now. Okay? Next up is performance. We have a lot faster performance. Okay? Much faster with this approach. Okay? And then not only that, but we can then copy our styles, put it in a partial, and partial it across all of our pages. And we have all of our styles encapsulated inside of a partial that we can then edit easily on any page. It's faster. Again, a benefit I didn't even come up with yet is this is a lot faster for your workflow. In the future, if you ever want to redesign, if you watch that swatches video, you see how I assigned a red background color to 2 or 3 different sections on my page. And later on, I decided, you know what, that I need that background darker. Well, instead of going to 3 different stacks and changing 3 different background colors, all I needed to do is change that one swatch, and that color was changed everywhere. So it not only improves our performance inside RapidWeaver, it reduces our time for designing our websites. That is going to make you a better web designer. Take care. I hope you're enjoying Foundation 6. Go ahead and watch all the other amazing videos that we have. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you over on Weaverspace. Bye.